our bottle gets so full of frustration and it starts pouring out, that's when we're like, oh, maybe I should take a look at why I am frustrated. And then we put all this, like, because we're so focused on everybody else, I think that we literally put everything on our shoulders at that very moment. And we put this perfection mindset on. We have to do this for our diet. We need to go to the gym this many times. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do this in order to do all that so that I can live this life that I want to live. And we overwhelm the hell out of ourselves because we live an overwhelming life because we are tackling 5 million things at the same time. How we do it, if you are a mom, I don't know how we do it, but we do it. We have kids at different practices. We're there. I don't know. My name is Jamie Summers. It is the Bionic Woman. There might be something to that. But you literally run life like burning the candle at both ends. And then when you finally take a hard look at yourself for a glimpse of a moment, you put way too much on your shoulders and it is so unrealistic and you don't even realize that it's unrealistic. It is just your way out of not showing up for yourself. And then you pivot and you focus on everything else. And then the bottle gets full and you're like, shit, what do I need to do? I need to do all these things. And then you overwhelm yourself and then you pivot back. Like it's this endless cycle of let me get the hell off this merry-go-round. Like I need a different ride. Like, I don't know. Hey ladies, welcome to the She's Rooted podcast.
We're about to get real unscripted.
So pull up a chair. Let's get to the root of it. What is up, Mo?
Hey, hey.
Hey. I wish I was recording a few seconds ago because Mo was dropping some sick beats, let me tell you. The old school vibe going. It was great. I am so excited for everyone to tune in this week's episode. I don't know what I'm saying. Last time we talked about resetting our four walls, and man, did we go into a lot of different buckets.
Yeah.
It was good. It was real good. And today is going to be about naming those vices a little bit more. I know I talked about the Oreos. I think I've dropped the Oreos. I have a problem, okay? Like, it's a real problem. So, yeah. But today we're going to go a little bit deeper on naming your vices. And, yeah. So, Mo, why don't you kind of kick some things off over there on the vice land, because we did talk about, moving our body, and sometimes we get in our own way of that.
Yeah. And I'm just realizing I don't have any lip gloss and it's driving me crazy already. So if you're watching, just know that was a thought that just went in my head. Vices, I think, are super important to talk about. Vices would be anything in your world that is an excuse or maybe it's a reason. Maybe it is just a real true reason, but it's something that is holding you back from moving forward in the direction of your goals for your health. I mean, for your business. We talk a lot about health on our podcast because that's our world and what we do, but it could really be in anything. It could be in your relationships. It could be in your business. It could be anything. But when we're talking specifically health-wise, I think one of the most important reasons that we're even talking about this is because once you can name it and claim it, it loses power over you, I think, instantly. It's when we're self-deceived that I think we struggle most, when we're like, no, but this is really the problem. Or you don't even realize, you're like, I eat so healthy, and you don't even regard the fact that you have an Oreo problem, right? Like you've deceived yourself, this doesn't count. Or, I only, I drink, but I'm not an alcoholic, or I don't, party all the time. I'm never hungover, but you drink 4 drinks every night, not realizing those calories are still calories, and that your body still needs to detox that alcohol, which is a poison, and that takes away from fat burning and also causes problems for your liver cleansing. So I think when we are deceived by our vices, that's when we really struggle. So one of the best things that I encourage you today to do as a listener is something I've spent years doing, is kind of, we talk a lot about journaling and kind of that type of peeling back layers, but doing that for yourself and taking a really good look in the mirror and going, okay, Monique, what is the deal? Why are you not actually going to the gym? And is it a mental block? Is it a time issue? Is it a whatever? And you figure it out. And then you take a step. And now that you've claimed it and you're like, okay, the reality is like, I do really want to go, but I just keep like putting it off because I don't know. I either think it's too hard or I think, or maybe you're like, the reason doesn't even matter. I just need to make a change. Then I say the encouragement is just to like pencil it in and you push past your vice by like putting yourself on the calendar. And if that means like in the beginning, maybe you do have to go take a class. Like maybe you have to go because classes are beautiful because they're only at a certain time and you have to make it like an appointment. You can, I don't know if you've heard it, Jamie, where people are like, book yourself in your calendar for your workout as if it's a date.
Right.
That's amazing in theory, but for someone like me, I would blow it off still. Like
Yeah.
I would still be like, yeah, I put it in at 5, but like I got this, and this to do now. And like just
I don't want to date them right now.
my personality. Yeah. I'd be like,
Right.
I don't really like that date. I'm out. So for me, like just getting into a class or finding an accountability partner, when I was really busy with kids in that season, and even now, the last 7 years, my youngest is 7, but I'm the primary care person at home. And that means I have kids getting up early in the morning to get to school. I have a kid I can't leave for the gym early in the morning and just leave him here. Um, so for me, that was like, I need an accountability partner that can get up in the morning, Zoom with me, and move our bodies. I don't want to do it then, but that is the only time that I will actually do it. And
Right.
so I think realizing like my vice in that season was time constraint or ability to leave the house or responsibilities and all of this, but the desire to be strong as a mom, the desire to like regain my strength and fitness outweighed it. And I was like, okay, so what's the solution here? Right? Like, what's the solution? And I think when we look at vices, we have to look at all the angles and go, what's the solution? And you kind of get to brainstorm and go, okay, Monique's not going to go to the gym early in the morning, and Monique's not going to go to the gym late at night. Monique does have the middle of the day when the kids are at school to go to the gym, but how likely is she to do that unless it's staffed properly? Because a shower, you go through all the things and then you have to like pick your choice and go and commit to it. So for me, a lot of the vice was more that than even like food, but food could be a vice. I know people are like, I just don't keep it in my house. I think you said it on the last one. Like I just don't keep Oreos in my house because I'll eat them all. I don't I don't really have a thing that I love like that. I don't think. I'm trying to think. Now I'll think about it if you want to talk. I'm gonna think about if I have any.
I like it. No, I love that you talked about sometimes we like set things aside and we don't really name it as a vice. Like we don't give it that like we don't put it in that bucket of this holds us back. And I do believe that we do that. I've done that. I think we do that because that's like our de-stressor maybe or our comfort zone maybe or it makes us feel happy in the moment when we have things in our life that taste, let's go food route, that tastes good, that isn't necessarily good for us. You know what I mean? So I think that, there was a time in my life, like way back in the day, where, I'm like eating healthy, okay? But on the weekend, I'm ordering pizza and drinking those Angry Orchard drinks. And this whole time I'm like, I'm eating healthy and this apple that I'm eating doesn't work. And I'm not even blaming, like I'm blaming the apple orchard who grows the healthy apple. And I'm not even looking at this Angry Orchard. You remember those alcoholic drinks? I'm not
It
blaming
was
that.
like cider, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was hard
yeah.
apple. I think if I drank those now, oh God, they'd be like too much. Like I don't
Yeah.
even drink pop anymore. It's just too
So
sweet.
sweet. Mm-hmm.
But I feel like sometimes it's because we're not ready to actually take a step back and really put everything that we are doing and everything that we're showing up for and everything that we're eating on our table of these are our choices. And when we're looking around, are those choices getting us closer? Are they getting us further? Are they keeping us maintained? Like, what do we need to remove off of our table? And sometimes Vices are not food. Okay. A vice can be your favorite TV show that you're like, I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to binge watch 2 hours of Netflix every single night. And you're like, I got no time to work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Like how do you work out while
Yeah.
you watch the dang show? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you can prioritize your day a little bit different if you know what your
Yeah.
day looks like ahead of you. So I love that you talked about the calendar because I think that we can go into some really like tactical, practical, like advice right here when it comes to how you look at your calendar. There are things that we have to do, there are things that we get to do, there's things that we want to do, and there's things that we need to do. So I think putting those in different buckets and looking at, well, maybe I need to wake up an hour earlier so that I can get an hour of my day back.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
I
I think,
do.
I don't
I
know.
had to do that. I
Yeah.
do. It's hard because you're like, oh, I don't want to. And I work for myself. Like I feel like in that mindset, I'm like, I should be able to work out whenever. And I can.
Oh, yeah.
But when you actually look at your day and you look at your goals and you look at your priorities and you look at your values and you look at all of that, and then you have to go, well, what actually, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. What actually makes sense here? And
Right.
what can you rearrange or, sacrifice or change so that this is no longer a stumbling block for you, that this is no longer holding you back. And for me, yeah, it started. So here's a practical tip for me to get a morning workout. And I am not a morning person whatsoever. Like no ounce of me has ever been a morning person. All through school, I was like sleeping in the shower before school. Like I had to shower before school just to get awake. Like
Yeah.
it's been brutal. I am a night owl through and through, but I have kids. I can't be a night owl anymore.
Right.
Unfortunately, I have teens and a little guy, so I'm a night owl and a morning person.
Right.
And it was hard. It was so hard. So I literally started with like an accountability partner who I love dearly, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this girl down. Um, and then also like it was let me get up 5 minutes earlier. Before like the week we start, I'm like, let me get up 5 minutes earlier today. Okay, let me push it to 10 minutes earlier the next day. Okay, let me do 15 minutes earlier the next day. Like just to like build up to where I could get up 30 minutes before, which we were planning
Yeah.
a 30-minute work. I'm like, I'm gonna wake right up and go. And
Right.
now it's like I get up an hour before and I have like now it's different. But I think if you're looking at a vice and you're looking at making a change, and the first step is to own it,
Yep.
to own that, yeah, that like you said, that is your choice. You're making that choice.
Right.
Own it.
Yep.
And then, like you said in the last podcast too, and I love it because we tell our kids it all the time, can't means won't.
Yep.
Can't means won't. So if you're like, I can't do it, you're just saying, I won't do that. And if you're
Right.
okay with that, fine.
Right.
But if that doesn't sit right with you, then we take those next steps and go, okay, how do I get here then? How do I get
Right.
myself here then?
Right. Instead of complaining about it, once you name it and you don't make a different choice, you're choosing to continue down that road. So we can't complain about not being where we want to be if we're not willing to do what we need to do to get where we want to go. Like
Right.
you either complain about it or you make a change. And we're all going to come to a different line in the sand in different aspects and different moments of our life. And there are some times where we need to like hit a rock bottom version of what we have going on and the frustrations in our life before we get that kind of like kick in the butt to show up for ourselves a little bit different. And sometimes the frustrations are actually a really good thing because
Yeah.
that creates that like catapult to movement,
Yeah.
um, versus being blinded in your own comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And man, we've lived that way too long.
Yeah.
And when we don't take a mere moment of all those choices, it's like, man, you are who you are because of the choices that you make.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but until I got myself around a completely different community and a completely different environment, like these types of conversations weren't like floating around. Like you look at me like I have books all behind me. I paid somebody in high school to do my damn vocab. Like I don't. if you told me I'd been a reader, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Nope. I'm a scroller. I'm still a scroller. But like, you know what I mean? Like you have to shape your mindset. And if there are things like if you have a wheel of the things that are important to you, your health, your family, your faith, your being a parent, like your friendships, your the value, your business that you poured out, you need to be able to like look at like, all right, where am I thriving?
Hmm.
Like where am I crushing it? And
Right.
like, don't be too hard on yourself, girls. Like, you need to have the grit and the grind. Absolutely. Do not forget the grace, but don't stay in the grace too long because that's like, the grace has like a pool of excuses and that like kind of ciphers down your mindset of like, oh, I don't need grit and grace, or I don't need grit and grind. Like, I'm swimming in my grace. Like, it has to be a good, like, full circle conversation with yourself. But wherever you're thriving, maybe ask yourself, like, why? What am I doing so that I can like thrive in this area, this bucket of my life? And then when we look over at, let's say it's, eating healthy and that's your focus, but you feel like, man, I'm really struggling with that. That's where you can sit down and take a real good note. Well, why? And I love your 3 layers of why. Like I still have not forgot that from that one podcast. It was like 3 podcasts ago. So good. Um, but if you're looking at that and it's like, well, why am I struggling with that? Is it macros confuse me? Well, do you have someone in your life that can simplify it? If you
Right.
don't, like you press play on this episode for a reason. Hi, my name
Hmm.
is Jamie, and this is my girl Mo. Like, this is what we do.
Yeah.
But like if you're having struggles with certain things, you need to ask yourself why and what are the stumbling blocks that are getting in your way? And are those stumbling blocks things that you can jump over yourself because you've actually taken a step back and acknowledged it, you named it. Now it's your choice to like I can jump over it or I won't jump over it. So if you're in control of that and you can handle that, tackle it. If you need someone in your life to be able to help you jump over it, never, ever, ever be afraid to ask somebody a question because at the end of the day, it's about you and it is always about you. And you should never allow the fear of what somebody else is going to say or whatever get in the way of creating that path towards your best. So I think that if you do have a place in your life where you're like, man, I've been watching Monique and she is crushing it, and I know she knows her shit. Like, I'm gonna reach out to her because I need her help and she is thriving and I know she knows what she's doing because she does, but you are so nervous on the other end of it and you have that fear of, oh, but like I don't know what she's going to say. What if she's going to try and sell me like all these 500 million things? Or what if she's going to make me work out 7 days a week, twice a day? And what if she is going to make me give up my bread? And you know what? I use Kleenex. I don't want to use bread as my tissues. What if she's doing these like crazy things where she's got to put like rainbow patches all over her body and like sit outside with like one leg up. I don't know. Like whatever we do to ourselves in our head, that is a vice. The fear of just jumping over your own fears, like that is getting in your way. And at the end of the day, like you have to be around the people that can get you where you need to go. And you have to take that ownership to be able to have those types of conversations because what you don't know can actually be hurting you in the long run.
Yep. Yep.
And Mo
That,
doesn't do any of those crazy things, by the way.
I mean, I don't know. No, I don't sit outside with my leg up. Um,
I don't even know where that came. Have a cotton ball diet. Drink upside down.
I
Jump
love it.
5 times before you eat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know what I'm thinking? Vice is also, and I don't know if this is probably a different podcast, but we talk a lot about and rooted with the ladies about habit stacking.
Yeah.
And I think you're so right. Like if you can get yourself, you are the sum of the 5 people you're around most. And I also myself, like when I was younger, thankfully I was always an athlete. So, you had team and you had people in your world that way. So like working out and that wasn't like a habit I needed to stack really, although I was doing it. Like now thinking back my like high school years when I didn't need to do it, I was still doing it and I was stacking it in my day like um
Yeah.
innately. But as you get older and things get crazy, and like you said, if you're focused, where your focus goes, that's what grows, right? So if
Right.
you're career focused right now and you find yourself crushing it in your career, but your health is suffering, that's why you're just focused on your career. If you can shift a little bit of focus to your health, and these little increments really do make big splashes if you're consistent,
Right.
um, just like probably how you got where you are with your career. And I think if we can look at it and you look at, you name your vice, you claim it, you own it, you realize it, you put it out there and you're like, you're no longer going to have any power over me. Okay, now what? Like that's where I think habit stacking comes in, because then you have to kind of like play the game of, depending on what that vice is, going through and either coaching yourself through some habit stacking or finding coaches or a community, like Rooted, where we talk about it and we teach on it, we coach on it, we give examples and all that. And I think like now, that's why when we were doing this podcast, I'm like, dang, like I don't have a lot of like food vices. Did I used to? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I used to struggle big time. I remember when I was gluten free. I mean, I'm still gluten free. I'm not gluten free, but like my body, but I eat gluten free. Anyway, that's an inside joke of our family. Anyway, I remember when I first got the diagnosis though, and I had like such a sweet tooth. I made a whole entire gluten-free coffee cake because I just wanted coffee
Oh,
so
I
bad.
remember you telling me this.
Girl, I ate that entire coffee cake. I was so sick after. I still to this day cannot touch coffee cake. You know how like sometimes if you like got sick on drinking some kind of alcohol, you're like, I'll never touch.
Peach schnapps for me.
Okay, so
I'm
it was
out.
coffee cake, coffee
One
cake.
bad night.
Yeah.
On me in.
One bad night for coffee cake for me and I'm out. Um, but you find, for me, I think what I've done is like replaced like the things that I love. I found healthier ways to make it and have replaced it or like completely replaced it with something different, that was a healthier recipe when it comes to food, at least. Um, and I've also, one of the things that I think I've changed that also has helped, one of my things is I used to always be eating. Like I would just be eating all day long, like just nonstop, which is fine if you're not overeating. But like
Right.
I've also found more recently, like I'm just doing, a couple meals a day and like actually sitting down and actually enjoying it and actually intentionally like enjoying the food that I'm like I used to like eat while I'm making and I mean you still have those times like eating and going and like then I'm bringing stuff and I'm on the road. Since going to Italy, I feel like it's completely changed my mindset where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna like make something that I really want and actually sit and eat it. And
Yeah.
I feel like even that could probably turn into an excuse for somebody who's like, oh, well, I work and I blah, blah, blah. And fine, I work
Right.
too and I'm busy too. You again, instead of scrolling, are intentional with your time and you make this thing if it matters to you. To me, it matters. And it's also
Right.
just been a really big difference maker for connection in my house, for eating, for making sure that you're actually enjoying what you're eating or not just shoving calories in and like forgetting about it. Because I think
Mhm.
that's how I used to be. I used to be very much like macros and fitness and fuel and blah. And I'm now finding like, yeah, macros definitely matter. And what's beautiful is once you go through our coaching and you know how to do them, it's like magic.
I mean, everyone tells it is the simplest thing I've ever done.
It's magic,
You're welcome.
but you can still enjoy stuff,
Yeah.
do
Life.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking up the definition of vice and I had to hop over a couple of them because they were a little weird. I was like, well, we can't talk about that on the pod. Like that's not the vices we're talking about. And then I found one, it's bad. Obviously it's bad habit, but I was trying to give like a like a real definition.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. You guys will look it up on your own. You're gonna be like, oh wow, I didn't realize that was all attached to it. Um, immoral and wicked behavior.
I mean,
Um, yeah. Weakness in someone's character. Now we ain't talking about that. I don't know. Just bad habits, you know? I don't
maybe maybe we don't want to hear the truth, but maybe it is.
know. Right, right.
Weakness.
Yeah. I mean, definitely when we don't, I think weaknesses in our life, like, man, it's like the weaknesses that we have hold so much power. It's like an oxymoron almost until you name it. I don't know.
Name it, claim it, own it, and then change it. Like that's the
Yeah.
beauty. That's the freaking most best part about every new day. Like even
Right.
right now, if you're listening and you're just like in struggle bus world, like, and you are just, you're like listening and you're like, ladies, listen up. Nothing of my pie chart is good right now. Like my whole pie chart of
We
like,
gotta bake a new pie, girls, then. That's what we gotta
yes,
do. Get a new recipe.
yes, it's a new day. You can choose even right now, no matter what time you're listening, to think different because your different thinking is going to change your actions. Stinking thinking is going to keep you in the place that you are. So, where can you change? I heard a friend of mine say it and I loved it. It was like this domino effect. Like, what's the one thing right now that if you changed it would have the biggest impact on your world? And like if you think about it, like everybody can peg one thing where you're like, dang, well, if I just stopped scrolling, dang, if I just went to bed earlier, like I wouldn't be as tired, I wouldn't be as grumpy, I wouldn't want to stay up and eat. I wouldn't like if I went to bed earlier, five things would change in my life
Right.
instantly, you
Right.
know?
But honestly, Monique, I don't think that we give ourselves enough time in our day to even ask that dang question. I think that we are, before we know it, we wake up, we're going to bed, and like it is just stress city
Yeah.
because we put way too much on our plate as women and we do not prioritize ourselves all the time. And when our bottle gets so full of frustration and it starts pouring out, that's when we're like, oh, maybe I should take a look at why I am frustrated. And then we put all this like, because we're so focused on everybody else, I think that we literally put everything on our shoulders at that very moment. And we put this perfection mindset on. We have to do this for our diet. We need to go to the gym this many times. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do this in order to do all that so that I can live this life that I want to live. And we overwhelm the hell out of ourselves because we live an overwhelming life because we are tackling 5 million things at the same time. How we do it, if you are a mom, I don't know how we do it, but we do it. We have kids at different practices. We're there. I don't know. My name is Jamie Summers. It is the Bionic Woman. There might be something to that. But you literally run life like burning the candle at both ends. And then when you finally take a hard look at yourself for a glimpse of a moment, you put way too much on your shoulders and it is so unrealistic and you don't even realize that it's unrealistic. It is just your way out of not showing up for yourselves. And then you pivot and you focus on everything else. And then the bottle gets full and you're like, shit, what do I need to do? I need to do all these things. And then you overwhelm yourself and then you pivot back. Like it's this endless cycle of let me get the hell off this merry-go-round. Like I need a different ride. Like I don't know. I don't know. I'm dizzy. Like what the hell? Sorry.
I need a different ride.
Yes. Like yes. So we need to do. But no, I love that with the whole pie chart thing. I think that's really great. Um I think man, every time we start talking about practical, tactical things, it is literally having a honest sit down by yourself, uninterrupted. Like find something on YouTube that you can listen to. I listen to Disney ambiance music. I can look at it, and if I want to give myself an hour, fun thing about YouTube, it will tell you how long the videos are. You can literally schedule that time into your day when you have an open window. Put everything else aside that you don't, if there is anything that you need to do in that moment, then prioritize yourself and then sit in that, like, all right, I'm going to name the things that are very important to me. Take all of the restriction off your shoulders. Like, if you wanted to live your best, healthiest, most productive, badass, like incredible life, snap your fingers and you're living it, what does that picture of your life look like? Like no limitations. Like stop thinking about all the frustrations that's held you back. Who cares about that? We're getting off the damn merry-go-round. We're getting on a new ride. We might not know what it is yet, but we're stepping off and we're taking a clear look at like what we really want. And then when you look at the buckets of these are the things that are super important to me, then you go into what am I thriving in? And if we're not thriving in any of them, like don't have a dang pity party. This is a good thing because you're actually taking a hard look at what is really going on in your life. And with every problem that we have, my friend, there is a solution to the problem. Like they go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
So then you're able to prioritize, all right, well, these are the things I'm struggling in. And maybe depending on how many things are important to you, maybe pick 3 that you want to focus on for the month. And then once you look at it, okay, well, what are the stumbling blocks like, why am I not thriving in this area of my life? What are my stumbling blocks? Name all the dang vices. What can I tackle by myself? And then what are the things that I need somebody else that I know can help me jump over it?
Right.
And name that. And then put a date on it and say, I'm going to start doing it right now.
Right.
I don't know.
No.
That's what I would do. Maybe we could create a rooted pie chart, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to our cooking class.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got on the vices.
Same. I think the most important part from this episode, if you're listening in today, is to actually give yourself a minute to take a hard look at your world and say, what are my vices? Like, I think I know what they are. Maybe I don't think I have any. Everybody has something. And I think if you are willing to write them down, look at them, own them, and say, like, yeah, I have made those choices. Yes, I continue to make that choice. Yes, this is holding me back. Yes, this is an area of weakness for me. That's when you can actually take your power back and move forward.
Amen. Yep. That Mike dropped it right there. I love it. You girls go take care of that today. Let us know if you have any stumbling blocks that you need help with. Drop it in the comments. Like if you have things that are working for you that have helped you get through what you needed to get through, give that advice to the girls listening in. Like that's what I love about our community. It's all about lifting each other up and building up that belief and just grabbing hold of that best life, one choice at a time, one conversation at a time, one podcast at a time, and like actually showing up for ourselves because girls, we can't pour from an empty cup. Time to fill your own. So with that, you go do that, and we'll see you in the next episode. We hope that landed. If it did, drop a comment, share it up, and you know what? We'll see you next week. Until then, stay rooted, sister.